It's not easy. It's not easy. And I couldn't do it if I just didn't, passionately believe it was the right thing to do. I have so many opportunities from this country. I just don't want to see us fall backwards. So, this is very personal for me. It's not just political. It's not just public. I see what's happening, and we have to reverse it. And some people think elections are a game. They think it's like who's up or who's down. It's about our country. It's about our kids' futures. And it's really about all of us together. Some of us put ourselves out there and do this against some pretty difficult odds. And we do it, each one of us, because we care about our country. But some of us are right and some of us are wrong. Some of us are ready and some of us are not. Some of us know what we will do on day one, and some of us haven't really thought that through enough. And so when we look at the array of problems we have and the potential for it getting really spinning out of control, this is one of the most important elections America's ever faced. So as tired as I am, and as difficult it is to kind of keep up what I try to do on the road, like occasionally exercise and try to eat right. It's tough when the easiest food is pizza. I just believe so strongly in who we are as a nation. So I'm going to do everything I can to make my case, and, then the voters get to decide. Thank you all.
Some analytical observations on this and the race that surrounds it from Fred Barnes, executive editor of the Weekly Standard, Mort Kondracki, executive editor of Roll Call, Bill Kristol, editor of the Weekly Standard, and Nina Easton, Washington bureau chief of Fortune magazine, Fox News contributors all. Well, I must say, when I first heard that today, and in some viewings of it, you could see that her eyes were glistening. It wasn't as clear there, at least on this monitor. I thought this was real emotion. But I couldn't help but note that she managed to get a few things done before she was finished with the riff, Fred.
Well, she got in a couple digs at Obama there. They were a little vague, but everybody knew who she was talking about. You did, I did, Mort did. Look, it is personal with her. It's very personally, she said, because she's been counting on being the Democratic presidential nominee and the President of the United States, and it looks like that's not going to happen now. I think this is of a piece with something her husband said when campaigning for her in Iowa, and that is, he said about himself, he said, when it came around to 1988, I could have run, but I didn't, suggesting that it wasn't my turn then. So he ran in 92. And the Clintons believe that it's her turn in 2008, and what's this guy, Barack Obama, butting in for? It's her turn. So, as a result, the fact that he's butted in and is now riding a wave probably to the Democratic nomination, that's real personal for her.
I completely agree with that.
Well, what about the emotion? Was the emotion genuine?
Yeah, the emotion was genuine. I mean, if you've been working yourself to the bone, traveling all around the country, but thinking that at the end of this road, the presidency was yours, this is likely to be a Democratic year, she was the quote-unquote inevitable candidate for the Democrats, and all of a sudden it's slipping away, and there's this upstart who's doing it, whom she doesn't respect. She doesn't think he works very hard, that he's experienced, that he is entitled the way she is, and she's tired, and so she had to get some licks in, and the licks were, I think, genuinely felt. I don't think it was phony at all.
Bill?
I think you'd have to have a heart of stone not to be moved by Mrs. Clinton's plight, but sometimes it's
Why are you smiling?
Sometimes it's good. Well, sometimes it's useful to have a heart of stone, and I don't believe it was genuine. I think no Clinton cries without calculating first. And I think this was, if it was genuine, it was entirely solipsistic and narcissistic. It's all about her. Why is she crying for the country? Is Barack Obama not going to be liberal enough for her? Is Barack Obama not going to appoint the kinds of people she wants to the Supreme Court? Is Barack Obama not a stronger candidate in the general election than her? She's crying for herself, and I don't even believe it's genuine. I think it's entirely calculated.
You are so cynical. These are real people. These candidates are real people in these campaigns. They're tired. I mean, all of these guys have just been run ragged from this fast pace from Iowa to New Hampshire. Yes, she's watching her candidacy endangered. I don't think it's gone yet, but she's watching it endangered by this guy. I do think when she said, she wasn't crying for the country, she was crying for herself and her candidacy, but it's real, and it's just a real human being, and I thought that was a real human moment. It wasn't calculated.
She's a real human being, and she's good at crying when she needs to.
I must say, I'm going to weigh in on, as someone who covered her presidency, his first 4 years of it as a White House correspondent. Her husband could cry on cue. I'm not sure she has that skill.
Well, you know something. Furthermore, if you read Sally Bedell Smith's biography terrific book, there's a lot of emotional stuff that went on in the Clinton White House, from everything from throwing lamps to sobbing fits and screaming fits and stuff like that. This was controlled emotion.
Why is it in her interest?
I think this was moderate emotion.
Why was it in her interest in any way, shape, or form as a woman to cry?
Well, wait a minute.
It might be.
I can make a case for that. I mean, I must say, you sit there and listen to her
because they feel sorry for her.
No.
I mean,
what she was saying is, I care more. I care more for America than some of these people for whom this presidential race is just a game.
If there were tears glistening in her eyes, they were patriotic tears.
I care more. Look, what I want to hear from is, we know now it's personal with John Edwards, as he said in the debate, and now it's very personal to Hillary, for Hillary Clinton. What about Obama?
So
he says it's personal with him too.
All right, this is going to be. This is clearly the soundbite from today that will play everywhere and all over New Hampshire. And if they don't see it on their local news, they're going to see it on the national news. It'll be there again in the morning. How does it play as they go into Election Day here in New Hampshire? Does this play in her favor, or does this hurt?
It hurts her. It makes her look like her campaign's in trouble, which is why she's choking up. It hurts her. She doesn't. Why would she calculate to cry?
Well, if it hurts her, if it shows that her campaign's in trouble, well, then it's an accurate reflection of the situation.
Yeah, but how does it play?
I don't think it affects things one way or another. She's undoubtedly going to lose up here.
I agree with Nina. I think it hurts, and therefore, I agree that it wasn't phony. I think it was quite genuine.
If it was fake, Bill, how does it help?
Well, I think she might have thought she would get some sympathy, and for all I know, she may well among those who wish to be sympathetic, which is, and most people are more sympathetic than I am. Certainly, most Democrats are. But he's going to beat her. I think he is.
Just that older woman demographic or something that they're going to vote for her because they feel sorry for her.
The most hard-hearted. I'm glad.
No, I'm here to take Fred off the hook and to show what a true heart of stone is like. Look, I think they have a great turnout operation here. I'm told she will get every voter. They will get every voter out who wants to vote for her, and she has a base. I mean, she'll get her 34%. But I think Obama.
That much.
Yeah, but I think
below that in a lot of polls.
Yeah, well, okay, 30, 32 for 34. But I think Obama goes into the mid-40s. I think he's got an awful lot of momentum.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is going to be what happens after tomorrow, assuming that she loses by 10 points. There is going to be a retooling in the Clinton campaign, and they are going to try to figure out how to go at him. They haven't figured it out yet, how to go at him, and they're going to bring new people in. And
oh boy, here we go.
Yep, it's not over.
And all the research you have done, what must be going through her mind, her husband's mind? I mean, this is certainly a moment none of them expected to be facing.
Well, they seem to be launching themselves the kind of campaign against Obama that they have often accused the Republicans of launching against themselves, the Clintons. They've got their people out talking about what a liberal at the left end of the spectrum he is, saying sotto voce, that he's against long sentences for criminals. It's really kind of an amazing thing to look at. John Edwards picked up on this the other day. He said, this campaign lacks conscience. I think one of the things that has so many Democrats riled up is this feeling that the Clinton campaign is about the Clintons, not about the country, as Hillary was saying today, and that it does lack a conscience on some level, and that if she's going to compete with this wave that Obama's riding, she's going to have to figure a way to make a campaign look like it has a conscience and a different kind of attack.
Hillary's commander-in-chief problem. It isn't that they can't see the solution. It is that they can't see the problem.